There's no place to escape to.
This is the last
Podcast. On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
All right, well, it's time for you all to come down with me into my world.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah. We've had too much nuance around here. We've had too much political awareness, too much growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much context.
Now it's time to take it all the way back. We're going to regress. That's right. Welcome. It's the year 2010.
Ooh.
No cares at all.
No cares. Well, I had a hernia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every
Pretty bad breakup that year.
that was rough, but besides that, it was utterly perfect.
Ended up in an apartment with 2 holes in the ceiling and black mold. Didn't even have a kitchen. That was a really rough year.
But the porthole of the internet. Oh, it did look out in a darker world. Yes, indeed it did. And that's why we need to set the tone today. Rob with my true crime music. Sometimes boys will be boys. But some other times, boys, they be maniacs.
Hell yeah, man.
Now, the term maniac is thrown around pretty loosely these days. When we think of a maniac over here in the United States of America, it brings up the image of a person driving about 5 miles an hour faster than us on the freeway.
Fucking maniacs.
Or a loud man on a commercial absolutely gutting prices on mattresses so carelessly that you as a customer get worried about their bottom line.
But I'm crazy.
Crazy Eddie.
But it seems over old Eastern Europe, it means something else entirely. Maniacs aren't funny in Eastern Europe. They murder children with construction tools. No humor here.
So are these the screwy screwdriver boys?
Yeah, baby!
Welcome to the last podcast on the left. Or were you going to take it?
Welcome to the last podcast on the left. My name is Henry Zabrowski. I'm your narrator here today, and I'm sitting here with the comedic mastermind, Marcus Parks.
Yeah, that's what I'm known for. My comedy.
I'm excited because I've teed up Marcus to play the characters.
Sure, yes. I've been working on my Russian accent, or Ukrainian accent, as it were.
They're very, very similar.
Very similar. Yeah. Cannot hear that. I mean, it's like the difference between like a Georgia accent and a North Carolina accent. We can maybe tell the difference, but
not over there.
I would imagine a Ukrainian would not.
I'm Ukrainian. I don't even know what we sound like.
You sound like this. From what I can tell.
I'm hungry. Where's my dinner?
Now, this is my attempt. I completely wrote this script. This is my attempt for Henry Zabrowski to tell the terrible tale of the Dnepropetrovsk Maniacs.
Ooh, very nice.
I've been practicing it in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise known as the Hammer Maniacs for our less Ukrainian incline.
Hold on. These aren't the Wretched Wrenches?
No. That's the softball team.
The Vicious Vices?
No, again, that's the ladies' soccer team. Now, named for the location of the majority of the crimes, Dnepropetrovsk is an industrial city in central Ukraine. In 2016, it was renamed Dnipro, which is great for me.
Ooh, Dnipro.
Yes, because it was uncommunisted.
Yeah.
Because it was originally named after a Russian soldier. So then they did that. They took all the Soviet stuff out.
Yeah, it happens a lot in this area of the world. Stalingrad, Leningrad, et cetera, et cetera.
Make it short. Make it snappy. Now, 2007, 2 teenage boys, sometimes with the help of a third, go on a month-long bludgeoning spree ending in 21 victims. What brought this case to international attention was due to the boys' propensity to pictorialize their crimes on a cell phone. The videos of some such crimes were shown in court and not intended for release. But one piece of evidentiary video would get leaked to the internet. No one knows how. The uploader named it 3 Guys, 1 Hammer, and it depicted 2 thick-browed Eastern European youths giggling as they beat a man to death with a hammer and pulled his eyeballs out with a screwdriver.
Oh, so they did use a screwdriver.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got one in there.
Yeah, and it's more popping them out than pulling them. Well, I guess it...
I'm the author here.
Phillips head or flathead?
I think it's whatever they could get. People shared it all over the world, fueled by the same morbid curiosity that birthed it. These maniacs would eventually get caught due to their own stupidity. Still, somehow this one video would go on to inspire a generation of edgelords on the internet, generate several copycat crimes, and eventually be used by Vladimir Putin to validate his current invasion of Ukraine.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this case is surprisingly central to current world events.
It's really weird once I pop the hood on it. I'm going to explain a bit of it. It's a bit complicated, but it's one of those where this was where when we see the term now as Americans that are maybe not up on the news, this idea of Putin saying we're going to denazify Ukraine. This is one of the examples he used as some of the run-amok youth that just destroy the cities of Kyiv and other such places.
I thought we weren't going to learn anything today.
Oh, you fucker! I slide it right in there.
He caught the history bug many years ago. He cannot get rid of it.
Actually,
Not now.
what's nice though is I am on a series of pills that keep Natalie from getting it. Now, this story has fascinated me since I first saw stills from Three Guys, One Hammer as a more evil young man. I'm certain I'm not the only one of you who saw as much of this video as I could handle as a young, morbid person. How many of us dared each other to look at an image that will forever be emblazoned in your mind? We didn't need to go to war, not in 2009.
No.
All I needed was my PC to see a man's hand turned into SpaghettiOs by an industrial shredder. What is the image that comes up first for you guys?
For me, it is a Rotten.com image. Do you remember the one where they cut the snake open and there was the dead guy inside?
Yes.
That's the one for me.
Fascinating.
And that and also a guy getting his testicles and penis shoved into his mouth.
Hey, something's got to be done with them. Eddie?
Well, I always I watched a lot of Faces of Death and Traces of Death when I was a kid. And I remember Faces, I don't...
Do you remember that HGTV Spaces of Death? Amazing show.
I liked, I think there was the one where the guy parachuted into the alligator pit. That one was always cool.
That's fun.
And then there was...
Y'all wrote a sketch based on that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Poor sweet gay Michael. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah.
That's right. And what was the other one that I always did? Oh, there's like the guys jumping off the building. There was the people cutting open the guys. There was a lot of it that just haunted me. And then I stopped it all. Like I didn't even enjoy Rotten.com because I was already out at a very young age because I had killed my eyes.
Honestly, I wonder why more people weren't like us, because I know I went deep into this. I ended up seeing Three Guys, One Hammer later on in life.
I didn't even know this existed.
This was one of those when we were hyper online at a certain time period from 2008 when this came out to 2010, when the formations of what made Last Podcast on the Left jumped inside of our brains. This is a patch on that quilt.
Very big one. And it also says a lot about the internet at the time because we don't know who put the video online.
We do not know,
but the name definitely tells you that it was someone who was chronically online because it's a reference to Two Girls, One Cup.
Actually, Marcus, that's where you're wrong, because the video is actually entitled Hot Bitches. I learned that.
It became Two Girls, One Cup, though. That's
packaging. It's called marketing.
Yes, it became everyone.
Two Girls, One Cup was called Hot Bitches?
Hungry Bitches.
Hungry bitches. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was because they were hungry
for poo-poo.
Yeah, but it was yogurt,
and
as we all know.
Bitches are female dogs, and dogs eat shit.
Thank you, Eddie. Good work. Except for my lovely girls.
I had to stop both of my dogs, from eating raccoon shit yesterday.
Be careful. They got worms in it.
Yeah, but have you tried it?
Depends if it's local. Now, it's a natural childlike curiosity.
Yeah, I stopped them.
To look at gore, right? It used to be flipping over rocks to see weird bugs or checking out a rotting animal skeleton.
Yeah.
That would eventually evolve to kids collectively looking at a weird porn magazine and maybe devolving into some kind of ookie cookie-like situation.
I feel that was more our father's generation, the ookie cookie. I feel like millennials put that to bed.
I think that it happened one time by the time we were all 11 and everyone was like, whoa, whoa, this isn't Porky's.
Yeah, we used muffins.
Ew. Yeah. Because none of you were, I guess that was before celiac disease was a thing.
Yeah. Cinnamon rolls also catch everything. The little crevices.
Exposure to extreme imagery increased exponentially once the millennial babies started surfing the World Wide Web in the family computer room. By the time our generation hit the age to start getting dark with friends, we were watching Tub Girl, 2001. Two Girls, One Cup, also known as Hungry Bitches, 2007. Torture videos of soldiers in Abu Ghraib. Beheadings videos from Al-Qaeda.
Love 'em.
Piles of cartel leaders' heads.
Yep.
All the fun stuff. And eventually, the internet would accept and crown the new kings of gore. The Hammer Maniacs.
Now, are you sure they were the leaders' heads and not the guys underneath them?
I have no idea.
Because I feel like there was a bunch of heads. Those couldn't all be leaders.
Yeah.
Once we get into the finer details of that, what are we doing? What are we legislating? Then we don't know. But my main question in this series is, why do some kids get repelled? And why do some kids say, very few kids, but why do some of them say, what if we made some?
I think it really does go back to...
It's a rhetorical question. It's a goddamn rhetorical question. We can answer it at the end.
All right.
You
fine.
literally asked a question, then put a break in the script.
Rhetorical question.
Yeah. I assumed that you wanted me to answer that question.
Just a tee up. We were just getting in there. Now, one of our main sources for today's...
I had an answer.
We'll get to save it. You save it in your back pocket. One of our main sources for today's episode is Psycho.com, Serial Killers on the Internet by Eileen Ormsby, which is a pretty thick 60-page section on the crime. That's the most we could find in the English language.
Yeah.
Rachel Burke, who is one of our fucking amazing new researchers, she's fucking crushing it. A research team, they did as much as they could looking at articles from the Ukrainian press coverage. Most of the direct information is inconsistent due to the inconsistent reporting around it.
Yeah.
The Ukrainian police were secretive, and some of the reporting wildly sensational. We also used the 2010 Chilean documentary Los Maniacos del Martillo. And our incredible researcher, Rachel, she filled my brains with context using a world of academic papers that I could not understand on my own.
But she does. And that Chilean documentary, that one is in no way sensationalized.
Oh my God. You know what? The thing about that one is that it's all in on the concept that they were hired by Ukrainian mafias to make snuff films.
Yeah, which isn't true.
Those kids couldn't meet a deadline if they wanted to. And what do we know about video editors?
They meet deadlines.
They have to.
They have to.
But I don't think it was edited. It was all one take, right?
It was edited down for the internet. True. Someone took the original 30 minutes of it and edited it into 8.
Yeah.
Really, they were like, this is, there's too much here. You can cut this, lose that.
Too much context. Too much context.
A lot of standing around.
There literally is like 20. Well, we'll get to this next episode, but there's like 20 minutes of them just hanging out.
Oh, okay. The Chilean documentary was interesting. I watched most of that, but it was like, the funny part was, it was just, they would only like translate every other sentence. Or sometimes it's like one sentence over the course of like 4 minutes. And you're just like, I'll guess what they're saying.
But I'll say, I was like happy with myself because there were some, I was like, I can understand a lot. I can understand some of the Spanish, because they're saying like maniacos and martillo. They're like saying like muerte, and they're saying a bunch of stuff I understand.
Yeah, I get those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I know enough Spanish to understand what someone is talking about, but to not know exactly in what context they are speaking about it.
Yes.
They might have been saying that the maniacos were awesome. I don't know.
Well, no, I know that they're not saying that because they're frowning. It's a lot of low tones. It's a lot of like, boom. Like, but they really like this idea that what comes up again and again in this case, which I think is not too dissimilar from other serial murders, but I think it's very specifically a strong part of this case, is people wanting there to be a reason.
Yes. Yeah.
And
there has to be something.
There has to be a reason why, when I honestly think there doesn't.
Yeah. Now, there were kids, right?
Oh, yeah, let's get right into it.
College kids,
Now, would you consider them tiny maniacs?
No. Tiny maniacs, 3 foot and under. Tiny maniacs have a heart of gold. No, they just look rough. A tiny maniac, you don't want them to watch your dog, but you'd pet him like one.
They're not like kids. They're, I guess they were 19, 20.
Let me get into it.
All right.
Let's meet our maniacs.
Wow, it's not so easy, is it?
No, I do this fucking shit. You're answering before I get there. You're getting ahead of us. Get to it. Igor Suprunyuk was unfortunately born on April 20th, 1988.
Fuck yeah, man.
A fact that he would grow to be proud of and exploit for his own personal lore build. Teachers from his early years described him as a young Stephen Miller. The boy had a difficult character. Oh, yeah, actually, Marcus, you take this, please.
The boy had a difficult character. I had the feeling that he was constantly defending himself, although no one had offended him. He was very complex, but tried not to show it. I noticed his eyes. They were blue and cold, like icicles. They made my blood run cold.
A 10-year-old. Igor and those looking to explain his behavior often blamed his many complexes on his inability to show up to class or engage in school society at all. But those around him noted his Svengali-like hold on a couple of fellow losers. One being his right-hand man in the Dnipro hammer murders, Viktor Sayenko, born 2 months before Igor, another petulant offspring of a doting mother and a well-connected father. Viktor would grow obsessed with Igor, following him around like a puppy dog. These two boys shared a similar history. Both grew up in a world separate from many of their countrymen and didn't have to wait online for meager rations to pay for groceries with coupons issued by the state.
Yeah, I mean, upper middle class, by American standards, upper middle class to upper class, but definitely of the administrative class that was kind of a holdover from the Soviet Union, which, you know, in the Soviet Union, the administration holds all the power.
And they were just like 1 or 2 steps above everybody else, and in that fact, they lived in an entirely different fucking world.
God, yes.
They were born into a world just shy of a decade since Ukraine voted for independence, and the fledgling state struggled to form its own identity. Now, I'm not going to do a full Marcus-style context tsunami to all of you, all right? Because you could just end up taking this all the way back to the Hussars if you fucking want, right? And I know smash, smash, glub, glub, face gun stuff way more than I understand geopolitics, but here's my little fucking sum up, okay?
All right.
If you play Risk and you plan to win, right? And you know, some choke points are super crucial, right? But Jackie, she'd hold up in Australia because she was a fucking coward. She was afraid of a fight, right?
And like kangaroos.
Yes. Yeah, just like them. Fucking fake deer. But true home despots know that Ukraine is an extremely important base for closing off Europe, gaining entry into the Middle East. And this might actually be true, and not even just for a rock-solid Risk strategy. Ukraine has been fought over like a laundry bag of K-pop underwear since the beginning. And more often than not, its people identify with surrounding nations like Russia, Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary, depending on where your family is from.
And it's also geological as well. Like if you're more on the western side of the Ukraine, you identify more with like Poland.
Ruskies, yeah.
And then if you're on the eastern side, then you identify more with Russia. Even though the people in Ukraine, less of them identify as Russian than what the Russians want to make you think.
Well, just the idea, and then also conversely works that there's so many people that are connected familially into Russia that when they come to invade them, they're like, I'm attacking my cousin.
Sure. And Ukraine is also a fucking massive country.
And here's Rachel Burke's amazing breakdown that actually maybe makes sense. Many Ukrainian nationalists view Russia as a historical oppressor due to Russian domination in the 17th and 18th centuries and the Great Famine of 1932 to 1933, which killed millions of Ukrainians. Other Ukrainians feel close ties to Russia because of shared history, language, culture, and widespread intermarriage. Despite these differences, support for independence was broad. In the December 1991 referendum, more than 90% of voters supported independence, including majorities in every region. The Ukrainian state emerged quickly in 1991 through agreements between nationalists and the existing political elite. Nationalists agreed not to overthrow the government in exchange for a break from the Soviet Union, and because independence did not come through revolution or removal of the ruling elite, many Soviet-era power structures remained. This led to an ongoing political conflict, weak party systems, and policy stagnation. I didn't write it. That was her. Thank you, Rachel. Now,
It does make a lot of sense, though.
It does. Now, boils down, corruption ruled the land during this time of chaos. And the closer you were to the governing body, the benefits were fucking great.
Yeah, it's really not that complicated.
No.
Yeah, it's the way it works in most countries around the world. It's just the way humanity works. The more connected you are, the more likely you are to avoid consequences, and the harder it's going to be to actually bring you to justice.
What Epstein told me and taught me is that it's really good to keep up with friends.
What Epstein told you?
Yeah.
I didn't realize you guys had a
I built an AI chatbot so I could talk to him after he died. Yeah. I'm using Grok. I have my Epstein bot. I talk to him every day, and he encourages me to do all sorts of fucked up stuff. I love him.
Does he do voice, or does he write like little email missives to you, like at the level
All
of a
misspelled.
10th grader?
Yeah, it's all misspelled, but he does a great Gilbert.
Rise from your grave.
According to our American sources, Igor's father was a personal pilot to Leonid Kuchma, in office 1995 to 2005, Ukrainian second president.
I know that.
Yeah, you know. His time in office, it was shadowed by persistent allegations of government corruption and systemic censorship of the press.
Says you.
Yeah, and my paper. And my papers. His presidency is most infamously linked to the 2000 murder of a journalist, Georgy Gongadze, who was an investigative journalist and founder of the online outlet Ukrainska Pravda, known for exposing corruption among senior officials. Viktor's father worked as a communications liaison for the Regional Prosecutor's Office, a powerful local arm of the Prosecutor's General's Office of Ukraine. This will definitely come into play later on in the aftermath of the crimes. All of this is to say, Igor and Viktor grew up special, and boy, were they upset about it.
They were.
There was a third maniac, but he was definitely the Zeppo of the group.
Underrated.
Yeah.
I know, but that's what I'd say, too. Same. Alexander Hansa. He would be tried alongside the other two, but he did not participate in the actual murder of any humans in this case. He was different than the other boys. He grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, in Soviet-style blockhousing infested with rats the size of dogs.
They're small dogs.
I mean, they're cute. Sounds cute. Because they're like palms. That's cute.
Fleas the size of rats, and rats
That's the size of dogs, and dogs the size of man. Dogs the size of man. He was also raised by a poor single mother. Nice. We'll also see how this plays out in the aftermath of these crimes. Viktor Sayenko, Igor Suprunyuk, and Alexander Hansa met in elementary school and became close friends who did everything together. Some sources indicate they bonded together because they were afraid of bullies.
No.
Now, we see this narrative a lot when baby losers cause a lot of damage. Maybe because we want to believe there's a reason to kill 21 people with hammers and screwdrivers.
Yeah, just like we wanted to believe there was a reason why two shitheads could kill 12 kids in Colorado.
These are very much an entire Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, couldn't be closer.
Oh, man, it's almost a 1-to-1. They're just the Ukrainian version.
Basically.
I don't think Dylan and Eric could have done this.
Well,
I don't think they had the fortitude to go searching for fucking weeks.
episode 2, we'd find out it's because these boys were desperate to get their hands on a gun, and they just couldn't.
Yeah. I think Eric Harris could have. Dylan Klebold, I don't think would have got. I don't think Dylan Klebold would have gotten his hands as dirty, but Eric Harris definitely could have. But he had it in him.
This one's definitely, they're both motivated. Victor likes to beg off later on, saying that, I was just in it for the thrills and the money or whatever. Basically just the money and all the practical side of it. But if you watch the videos or if you look at the pictures, you could see that's not the case.
Yeah, he's having too much fun.
He's really enjoying himself.
I mean, there are definitely, stories in the past we cover like this where, you got two people that are committing a bunch of murders and, one person certainly never would have committed, like Carol Ann Fugit never would have committed a murder if she hadn't hooked up with Charles Starkweather. Yeah. And I do not think that Dylan Klebold would have committed any murders had he not hooked up with Eric Harris.
No, he hopefully would have just committed suicide.
Yeah. But Charles Starkweather definitely would have murdered people without Carol Ann Fugit, and Eric Harris definitely would have murdered someone without Dylan Klebold.
But I would say it did not take much to have Igor push Viktor into his world.
No,
it did not take much.
Victor would have been someone who would have accidentally killed someone someday, just being reckless.
Well, also, I just think that they were little evil fuckers. Because
Yes.
what makes more sense to me is that a neighbor described Igor as, he always had success with the girls. He was handsome and tall. As if Igor and Viktor couldn't fit the borscht-flavored Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold profile more. The way our little evil fuckers put it, they were afraid of the bigger boys. They never got personally attacked by any of them. They just assumed that they would have problems with bigger, more aggressive boy men.
I mean, Ukraine's full of them, too.
Oh, yeah. And if you're a runt in the Ukraine, that's hard, right? You're a small one.
I'm small. As far as Ukrainians go, I'm weak.
Yes.
Yeah, and you were the largest baby born in the state of Florida at the time.
Yeah, but
and
just Florida, though, not Ukraine. Over there, they're like 40, 50 pounds.
Yeah. They split. A woman has to actually actively be split open to the sternum to give birth in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then they slop it all together with just some kind of white cheese.
Yeah, all Ukrainian babies have to be dehorned.
I had to cut all this out of the context just because I just figured that this would lead to further discussion. I didn't want to do that to you. So it's like Igor then, I believe in turn, he became a bully to those smaller than him and taught Viktor and Alexander to follow suit. In the 5th grade, the boys had their first known encounter with the law when they were caught throwing rocks at moving trains. Now, this sounds like innocent, childlike shenanigans. Sure. But I do think it's important to remember, and I don't mean to be the fun police here, is that all it takes is one rock through a moving train window to kill a person.
What are the chances, though?
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. As a matter of fact, in 2017, 5 teenagers in Ohio and Michigan played a game that they called overpassing, where they tossed large rocks from a highway overpass onto the road below. Hitting a vehicle was called a dinger, and in 1 week, they scored dingers that resulted in the death of 2 people. Their parents also tried to call it shenanigans, but the justice system did not see it that way.
Put to death?
Honestly, they were crushed. Old school, Salem style.
There's a world of difference, though, of like throwing rocks at a train and dropping rocks from an overpass.
From the Hammer Maniacs?
Yeah.
Do you think that the difference is the fact for me maybe is that they were the Hammer Maniacs?
Yeah.
And that maybe it wasn't that innocent when it's the Hammer Maniacs?
Might not have been.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying, is that when it's when it's other children.
Yeah, because I've thrown plenty of rocks at trains when I was a kid, but in America, we don't really have that many passenger trains. You're just throwing rocks at industrial waste.
See, that's the thing. You're throwing at that's what I'm fine with, right?
Yeah.
If it's just like piles of just steel or whatever going through, they're throwing them at passenger trains.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Try to throw the fucking rocks at the Brightline, dude. Brightline will kill your ass.
Yeah, dude. They'll come for the train is fucking angry there, man. That jumps the track. Back to the Ukraine. When the police knocked on Viktor's door and demanded compensation for the damage to the damaged train, which I guess is something they could do in Ukraine, the Sayenkos, they just paid up and questioned their son about the incident. Their innocent son told them, Igor made me do it. You do it. All right. Mate, I'm sorry.
You
got to do the characters. I'm
asked
sorry.
me to do it.
I'm sorry.
Does it himself.
Their innocent son told them,
Igor made me do it.
and they said, no more Igor, Viktor. No more.
But I love it, Viktor. I love Igor. I am Viktor. I love Igor.
You're naughty little maniac. You're a little maniac and I love you. Let us ask Top Girl what she thinks. That was my Tub Girl impression.
Yeah.
I don't know what Tub Girl is.
Me
Look it up.
Nah, we got time.
No, look it up. Do it right now. Why
Mark-
not? This is great for the episode.
Marcus is doing it.
Look up Tub Girl. You've never seen Tub Girl.
I don't know who Tub
Look it
Girl
up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've
I know.
obvious-
A diarrhea girl. That's different. Okay.
Tub Girl.
Okay, I didn't know she was called Tub Girl, but
That's her official title.
Yeah. Diarrhea Girl's too long.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
I fell in love with the diarrhea girl. Sorry. Viktor didn't listen, though. All right. He didn't listen to his parents because he was infatuated with the peculiar and charismatic Igor. And his parents didn't enforce the rule. I wonder if he was attracted to the unibrow. If you do look at pictures of Igor, he looks like the evil baby in The Simpsons. Like Maggie's nemesis. Yeah, he's got like the furrowed brow. Yeah, he's fucking, he looks like a little grump. Mm-hmm. Igor and Viktor had PCs from an early age. This is just another example of their privileged lives.
Politically correct?
Yes. Yeah. Colin Quinn came to the house, and and then he would do Tough Crowd, and then it would ship. Then Bill Maher would come over, and then they had did PC. Most of their classmates, they didn't have regular internet access at the time, and they were not unlike a lot of kids from this time period where they loved surfing the net.
Yeah.
All right. We don't know the exact websites that they first encountered, but we do know they were collectors of videos that circulated of murders committed by drug cartels and beheadings of journalists by terrorist organizations. We know this because during the investigation, it came out that Igor had amassed hundreds of them, with the Ukrainian news called
Episodes of sophisticated torture, abuse, and murder taken from the internet.
It was in a folder he shared with Viktor called
Murderer!
Murderer! Man, my mom was so mad. I think about this, right? My mom was so angry about those lesbian schoolgirls I was looking at, and she had no idea I was being an ally.
Yeah. No, that's right.
It was like, that's the equivalent. Me masturbating lesbian schoolgirls when I was a kid was like the equivalent of me being at a pride parade.
You were studying.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know how to love them.
Yeah.
Support them. They're
nice.
business women.
But you were also looking at the same stuff that these kids were looking at the same time.
But then I'd just jerk off, right? And then fucking all the heat would leave and I'd go outside.
Man, I hate to see what these guys think scissoring is.
They show it later. In 7th grade, the boys started to level up. Igor wanted them to be stronger, fearless. He plumbed the internet for ways to overcome fear and figured they should face it head on. Both Viktor and Igor were afraid of heights. And for some reason, they were like, bullies are going to know we're afraid of heights.
Yeah.
And they're going to use that against us. And so,
I wonder if this is some sort of like, if it has something to do with the switch over from Soviet rule into, like independent rule. If there was some sort of like classist thing going on where maybe they were listening to their parents saying, the lower classes are going to take over us all. We don't know what the whole system is out of whack. So,
there's no daddies anywhere.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like,
and all the daddies are super corrupt.
yeah, so all the daddies are gone. The police are hyper corrupt. They're basically non-existent. Massive social systems are falling apart. There's a lot of chaos. So I could see them being like, we need to be careful. Everybody's going to try to kill us. But also, sometimes, what do we know about the statement, when all you have is a hammer? Everything looks like a nail.
That's right.
Also, overcoming your fears is probably the most positive thing these guys ever did.
I just wish that they had done it for something else, like public speaking, because instead it led to this. So in a scene almost directly out of the 90s evil boy thriller, The Good Son.
Great movie.
I love that movie.
Phenomenal film.
Kid's name's Henry.
Really?
Yeah.
The evil one?
Yeah, the evil one.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was Macaulay Culkin, who we knew was evil. Igor convinced Viktor to spend hours standing on a balcony of a 14th floor apartment, leaning over the railing and gazing straight down until their vertigo subsided and their fear of heights diminished. Technically like an exposure in CBT.
Yeah.
They considered the face your fears method a resounding success.
Does it work like that?
CBT, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I write exposure things of like the worst thing you could possibly think of because I have OCD. One of the worst things that happens with OCD, honestly, is that you have a fretful thought, you have an upsetting thought. So then what you want to do constantly is comfort yourself saying that can't happen. You intellectualize why that can't happen. But actually what you're doing is starting the cycle of anxiety again instead of just sitting with the bad result. Sitting with the worst possible extent of your bad thought.
Yeah. And another thing that you can do is use a funny voice to say your bad thought out loud, and that kind of takes away.
My wife doesn't really love me.
Diabetes is going to take my feet.
Yep, it works. Honestly, it does work.
I'm going to be framed for a crime I didn't commit and spend the rest of my life in prison.
See, it's fun to do. It works.
That's my CBT voice.
It really does work. It's really great. The next year, Igor beat up a kid, stole his bicycle, which he later gave to Viktor. Although he caught the attention of the police, he wasn't charged, and the local rumor mill believed that this was due to his connected father. And as the story always goes, Viktor's parents once again forbade him from being friends with Igor.
But I love Igor!
You're the maniac. You're a good maniac. All right? But they still didn't supervise him closely or question his whereabouts. So the two boys continued to see each other. Secrets. The three boys, they began to terrorize the school. They would begin to specifically target younger, smaller boys and older people for physical assault. This pattern would continue into the murders. They would vandalize property and openly huff glue on the street.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, this is the part I like.
Kind of cool.
This is the only thing I was like, this could have been fine. They could have stayed like this. Right? No one called the police because of Igor's father's connections. Igor would actually overdose on glue in the 8th grade, and it's very sad to have such a near miss.
couple of Ukrainian glue huffers. It's fantastic.
Isn't it great? I think it made his eyebrows grow towards each other.
Oh, maybe they tried to get rid of it, and the glue is what kept it there.
Stuck right there each time. Yeah, it was all just him trying to shave his Hitler mustache off. Right? Now, this all came to a head in 2002 when a teacher accused the boys of committing hooligan acts against her. Don't know what that means.
Hooligan acts? I would imagine throwing things.
I think that
That's
what
hooligans do.
But also there's a little bit of... Because one I found interesting with all of these crimes is there's no sexual component.
No, none.
None. And it's all just blatant murder. But I do feel like maybe in something in this... There's something about this reads to me because they almost got in very big trouble for this thing. Yeah. And we don't know what the details are. I think it involves something like pinning her down or doing something to the teachers physically.
Thumbtack on the chair.
She did something. They did something to her, whatever it was. But they didn't face charges. Igor was instead transferred to another school. Alexander was sent to another school. Now, has this ever ended a problematic relationship between teens?
Splitting the kids?
Has it ever done it?
Nope.
Does it only ever make them worse?
Yeah.
I feel like what do you do?
Because you're not listening to the teenager.
You are listening to the teenager and saying, I'm going to kill everybody. What do you do? But literally, like, what do you do?
Were you asking me how do you deal with a homicidal,
not rhetorical.
No, yeah. Now you want my answer?
Yep.
For one of the hardest questions to possibly answer?
Let's go.
Military school.
Yeah, right. That'll do it. What about straight to war? Yeah. I knew this Iranian fucking ground surge is really going to be good for something.
Yeah, man.
God, we're really going to wipe out some losers.
Every boy needs a war.
Right. They really do. Being exiled from each other did nothing to stop their star-crossed love. Igor, Viktor, and Alexander quickly descended into total depravity. Yeah. They began to systematically torture animals to death as a group activity. They would then film these torture sessions on Viktor's phone. This is going to be real rough.
Yeah.
A lot of animal violence coming up.
So what do you think? How long do you think this is going to last? The animal violence? Probably like 5 minutes if people wanted to skip
6
ahead.
weeks. We got just like whatever 5 minutes. Just know the reason why I'm describing this is so you can really understand the total depravity of where these guys got to.
Yeah, because there's always a reason to kill a person.
Pretty much, yeah. I'd come with 10. One of the videos shown in court, to the horror of those attending, depicted Viktor, Igor, and Alexander crucifying a kitten on a wooden cross they made in Viktor or Igor's garage. They filled the kitten's mouth with glue to stifle its screams, taking turns shooting at it with pistols loaded with rubber bullets. The boys laugh and swear throughout the video, enjoying the small creature's torment. A criminologist said that he could only evaluate the video with the sound turned off.
I could not listen to the painful squeals of puppies and kittens that were gutted alive, burned, hung up,
he said. There were many videos of this nature. Maybe this newfound hobby gave Igor the confidence to blossom into a capital N Nazi. Now, I remember when I first joined theater, I discovered theater, and it was amazing, but really that just led me to Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah.
Not Nazism.
No. But
and dashikis.
Yeah, well, that was, again, I was a character actor. And at the time, it was different. Our racial explorations into different forms of the worlds of theater was us embracing foreign cultures. That's why I played an Indonesian man.
Yeah, you barely crucified cats.
The only reason why I crucified him is with love. And we did it the way Jesus did it, where the real way, where the other guys that weren't Jesus didn't get nailed in. They just tied them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mostly just... It's not about bleeding to death. It's about starving them to death.
You're right.
And letting them slowly suffocate.
Thanks, Marcus.
Whatever happened to Barabbas?
I remember his last words were just, ouch, 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 ouch. So Igor took selfies of him and his little buddies, and they added Hitler mustaches and Microsoft Paint. This is true.
Is that real?
Yes.
It's real. Yeah.
Many pictures like this. And unlike many high schoolers whose desks were covered in the cool S.
Yeah, the Slayer S.
Yes.
Stussy S.
Stussy, it's both. I looked it up. It's known as the Slayer S, Cool S, and the Stussy S, which is funny.
Okay.
Igor and Viktor like the uncool S, known as the swastika. It's a bad S.
It is a horrible S.
It's a bad S.
Yeah.
Worst S there is. Because there's two S's on top of each other. We talked about it in the Himmler.
Oh, well, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it's just so easy to draw. That's the problem.
I mean, it's branding.
Yeah.
That's why Target's great. These were not disciplined Hitler youths. I imagine Himmler's extreme disappointment looking down from heaven. He apologized. They cobbled together a mean and lean version of hate ideology directly from the maw of racist troll dens on the internet.
And this is incredibly important to this whole thing because these are not ideological Nazis. These are edgelord Nazis. The only reason why they like Nazis and swastikas and Hitler and all that is because it's the worst thing there is. They read all this shit on the internet and they read about all of the horrible things that the Nazis have done because it was out there back then.
Of course.
It's like when I was, as a boy, right, I loved villains.
Sure.
I loved the Empire. I loved all these things. And I remember being a little boy and being interested in history. And you could see as a little kid, that type of imagery it's so powerful and clear that when you're a weak little shithead, you could see it. I do a little bit of a run-up later on in the script about this, but I could see it's a childish impulse.
Well,
fascism is childish too.
Oh, very much. No, well, fascism is all about daddy taking care of you and telling you what to do.
Yeah.
But I think with these kids, it's more just that, the UK punks kind of went through something similar, is that Nazi imagery, it is the worst, most offensive thing there is. And in Ukraine, especially like a former Soviet territory, is like when the Nazis did, I mean, we talked about it in the Himmler series, they did so many horrible things.
So sticking a finger in. It's sticking this fucking finger into it. Now, Alexander, well, I call him the Ma-T of the group.
What's Ma-T?
From Captain Planet, the fucking pussy one.
Oh, come on.
Right? No, I'm being silly.
Is that the guy, Hart?
Yes.
Leave him alone.
I know.
He talks to animals. He's the best one.
That's why I put him as Alexander.
Ma-T, okay. I actually thought it was a Dune thing, but that's Muad'Dib.
Yes, Muad'Dib.
Yeah.
See, Alexander, he had a professed aversion to blood. They said he was so sensitive, he couldn't even wash a new baby kitten in case he scalded it with the water. In this friend group, that shit wasn't gonna fucking play.
Also, just touch the water beforehand. It's just like you can tell if it's too hot for
Soviet Russia, water touches you.
Yeah.
Igor,
I remember one time I was working at the 99 Miles of Philly, the cheesesteak restaurant, and we had this guy. He wasn't that smart. He worked in the basement, but he was really nice. And there was one day he caught a bunch of mice from the glue trap, and he's like, I came downstairs and he was just crying. And I was like, what happened? He's like, I tried to free the mouse, but he put boiling water on him because he was too stupid. And so, because he was trying to dissolve the glue, but he didn't realize he just cooked the mice, and he was just crying downstairs because he killed the mice.
He accidentally became the Hammer Maniac.
This man's what's his name, Lenny by any chance?
I just wanted to see them run.
He tried.
He did. He honestly did.
I tried to take it back.
I tried to take it back.
I just remember just be like, damn, man. I don't want this to be comical, but it's kind of funny.
Thank you for this. It's been a hard day, and I want to say thank you. So Igor extrapolated his fear-destroying techniques to include animal torture. He suggested capturing and dismembering the many stray dogs in the forest near Alexander's house. The group began capturing and slaughtering dogs and cats with regularity to get used to it. They skinned them alive and hung them from trees and disemboweled them, where they would bleed to death slowly. Many of the photographs that came out in the investigation documented the animal torture and the boys posing with the corpses, zig-heiling, making funny faces. Boy stuff.
You make a joke, but that's what it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like they're on vacation.
They took pictures of themselves with dogs hanging from nooses in the background, the walls covered in swastikas drawn in animal blood, phrases written on the forest rock walls: kill everyone, take everything. The lower you fall, the higher you will fly. Killing is just a tough way of making money. The pictures are haunting. You see two dead-eyed boys in mid-zig-heil with Hitler mustaches drawn on their hairless lips, giving off a vibe of a Halloween costume taken way too seriously in front of surreal violence. There will be no more animal murder. Just so you know, there will be no more animal murder mentioned in this episode. I just want to let you know what type of maniacs we're dealing with. Just know it happened a lot.
Yeah.
All of the Nazi imagery the boys use really helped experts to try to explain away their behavior. It makes it much easier to say, in response to bullying at school, these disaffected young men found confidence in fascist ideology, as if they have a brain in their head to fucking choose. Then you wouldn't have to say the more likely reason. They thought it made them look badass.
Yeah, it's about self-esteem. That's this whole thing's about self-esteem.
Being frightening.
Yeah. And being frightened.
Because that's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
Rise from your grave.
It wasn't long before the killing extended to human beings. They have been preparing for this for almost 4 years. One classmate was certain the goal of murder was intended from the balcony training days. As far back as 7th grade, a classmate, Nikolai Parchuk, said that Igor developed a
new nonsense.
Back in 7th grade.
He decided to check whether he had enough mental strength to kill.
In 2005, when the trio were around 17 years old, they attacked 2 15-year-old boys. This one was not caught on video, and there's been no motive discerned other than what the police called pure sadism. The 3 boys mercilessly beat the 2 smaller boys, leaving them with concussions, broken bones, and permanently disfigured faces.
See, I was like thinking it was like just like a little fun.
No, they beat them almost like within an inch of their lives.
God.
The parents of the beaten boys tried to bring charges against the 3. In a total shocker, Igor's father intervened. The police decided not to pursue charges due to their age. They were set free, but received a stern talking to by their parents. And isn't their disappointment enough?
Yeah.
Right? It's so much worse than when they're angry.
I'm so glad this episode ends like this.
Yeah, wow. And completed. He would though go on to become, the Igor would go on to become a stand-up in Ukraine and eventually the president. Then came high school graduation. As we go on to wherever, all the time we've spent together. Remember?
I was at the Vitamin C song.
Right?
Yeah. I was more of a Third Eye Blind. Can I graduate? That's
Well, you didn't graduate. Well, you could that
I
one.
graduated high school
Yeah.
with a 2.0.
Yeah.
But I did it.
Yeah, you did it.
High school, I made it happen.
I'm proud of you.
Hell
Thank
yeah,
you.
man. You're on the same level as the new Department of Homeland Security.
Hell yeah.
Wow, that's it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So they drifted off with no destination, likely knowing their time as quote-unquote normal citizens would soon come to an end. Viktor enrolled part-time the Dnepropetrovsk Iron and Steel Academy. He dabbled as a rent-a-cop.
The Iron and Steel Academy?
Yeah, but he went to learn, it's like metallurgy. I think that's literally like welding.
Yeah, I know.
okay.
It's just a very...
Iron and Steel. God, welcome to the... Where they make Colossus. Yes, that's where he's from.
I just want to be normal man again.
Could you make me some kind of wood mine or some kind of fluffy mine? Alexander, he drifted between odd jobs, briefly working as a pastry chef, a construction worker, but remained unemployed for most of the time. I wonder why.
Construction worker probably should have been great at.
I mean, unfortunately, he was undisciplined. Igor became immediately, would be known, I think on the internet we called him a NEET, right? Because he just showed little interest in work or school, and any form of urgency in finding a job. But his parents did buy him a Daewoo Lanos as a birthday present. Known for its fuel efficiency, Daewoo shuttered its doors in 2002, more like it sort of absorbed into Chevy, according to Grok.
Glad you asked Grok about Daewoo.
That's all I do.
They're fine cars.
They were fine, and then they seem to be, again, very good fuel efficiency. Mm-hmm. And I love a car. I love a green car.
My mom had a Yugo. It sucked.
Yeah, I bet. You go slow. So this is when Igor and Viktor began to inhale gore videos on the internet. In 2006 to 2007, websites like gorenet.com, rotten.com, Les My Hat, bestgore.com, snuffx.com were, to use a phrase, crushing it.
Yeah.
These websites hosted videos going from household and industrial accidents all the way to leaked torture videos from spheres of war, homemade cartel movies depicting pyramids of bloody heads, and in my opinion, Igor had the long-term plan. Viktor thought the gore was cool and all, but Igor watched it like it was instructional. Igor was inspired. He saw the unemotional way people were tortured and murdered. He saw the flatness of the human body as a glistening, bubbling, mechanical pile of meat. He saw the limp way the body fell, spirit gone, not dramatic in the movies, subtle, and so quick.
You know who does death scenes better than anybody in media? South Park.
Oh, yes!
The immediate death.
Yeah, where there's just that little, and then they're dead.
Done.
Yeah,
That always scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah, and South Park does it better than anyone.
Private Ryan does it occasionally, like in the first, and just like you see him get shot 3 times, and they're just like not a human anymore.
Yeah.
that shit's fucking terrifying.
Good acting. Yeah, but there are some, he saw that viciousness, that meaninglessness, and felt strong. Just like other shitheads before him, Igor looked into the black mirror of the laptop screen, saw baby Nazi, and embraced it.
That's what Black Mirror means.
Yes. Fascism and childlike violence go hand in hand. But he needed a sheep to make himself a shepherd. And Viktor was the perfect spineless shit stain to volunteer.
That's right. It took me like 5 years before I realized, like, Black Mirror.
Yeah, it's the phone screen.
I didn't realize. That's cool though.
Yeah, right? British people are right sometimes.
I see what they're thinking.
Every once in a while. Now, ever an enterprising young man, Igor used his new gift from mommy to make money as an unlicensed taxi.
His Green Daewoo?
His Green Daewoo. Now, I do find interesting, I had Rachel look up the concept of unlicensed taxis in Ukraine, and it's extremely easy. It's very run-of-the-mill. It's a part of their lives. Not many people have cars, so it's more often for people to carpool, like, within small towns. And actually picking up an unregistered taxi is a thing that people do quite often because because there's no regulatory boards. And the ones that were official were extremely expensive, so they kind of reverted to taking care of themselves.
But unlicensed taxi, not a fake taxi.
It's an unlicensed taxi,
Yeah.
but it's still a fake taxi.
Yeah, it's just some guys like, I'll give you a ride.
But 95% of them weren't the Hammer Maniacs.
Sure.
Yeah, they're the guys hanging outside the Hollywood Bowl.
It was
Blocking all the Ubers.
Yeah.
it happened
They can't ever
enough.
get out of there.
It was like enough a part of their lives. Yeah, because at first I was like, what does that even mean? And then I was like, oh no, it actually was a very regular part of their lives.
Yeah, it's the guys that bother you when you go off the plane at JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it might have been a response to his get a job or else ultimatum, but his parents were really never all that serious. Igor's new job provided perfect cover for their favorite pastime, robbing and beating people. It became a nightly ritual, attacking strangers and stealing their phones, wallets, and jewelry. Often they'd pick up a passenger in Igor's car, pretending to be a taxicab, drive them out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, rob them, beat them, and then leave them stranded.
Imagine how much money they would have made if they had like a nicer car.
I mean, they could have done a lot. And Viktor got a car. They made enough money for them both to have a car, and then both of them are pooling the money, and then they buy a truck, and the next thing you know, that's a transpo unit. Next thing you know, they're working for the brand new show business entities that have taken over in Romania.
I don't think these guys had foresight.
No. I don't even think they had two sight. So Igor and Viktor, they didn't need the money, as their parents were willing to provide them with whatever they desired. They did it for fun. Alexander, on the other hand, he began to get cold feet. He didn't come from wealth or family connections.
Or else he would have had shoes to keep his feet warm.
Right? Has this been always the problem? I'll kill you. He was lower class than Igor or Viktor. If he got caught, his life was over. He would not get his get-out-of-jail-free card like the other boys. After 2 brutal armed robberies on March 1st, 2007, Alexander finally felt extremely uneasy enough about all the reckless assaults that he would later admit he finally broke away from them before the murders officially began. I had a bit of a hard time and researchers tracking down what the actual very first murder was.
It's always a problem with serial killers. Not always, but a lot of times, you just don't know.
Because it's hard because one side is there's some official stuff. There's a bunch of chaotic stuff in the reporting. And then also like you have to listen to these two maniacs fucking version of the story.
Yeah. That's the whole Ted Bundy thing, like the only living survivor. You know, you have to trust them or you choose to trust them.
Can I ask a weird technical question?
Please.
Are these guys serial killers or spree killers?
Well, that's a very good question. Honestly, it's a very good question. I would go straight up to serial killer because of how long it was. But the style, it's like a serial killers that used spree killing.
Yeah. Like
Well, I mean, the definition of a serial killer
Normally has a sexual component sometimes.
not always, but it's 2 or more murders with a cooling off period in between.
Yeah.
And these guys, they did have cooling off periods.
Well, they got caught in basically their only cooling off period, so we don't know whether or not it was just going to go right back to it or not.
Yeah. Also, it's like if they would have been able to get guns, they probably would have been spree killers.
Well,
because they would have just been a one and gun situation.
Well, yeah, it's funny technically what you just said, but also they talked about how easy it would have been for them if they had guns, and they were really very lamented. They were very sad they couldn't get their hands on some stuff. They should have came to America.
Yeah.
So the first murder that would become their standard method occurred early in June of 2007. Igor and Viktor picked up a young man and a woman in their makeshift taxi. It was the middle of the day. Most of their other crimes were done at night. They took them way out of town, outside where they normally operate. Driven by what they call these sets of complications, Igor and Viktor freaked out. After robbing and beating them within an inch of their lives in broad daylight, they worried the victims had had a clear view of their face or the car. Things that they could have planned for, unless the plan was to murder them from the beginning. Eliminating the witnesses was the next logical step, they claimed. They were found beaten to death on the side of the road. Due to haphazard investigation, these would not be included as part of the official kill count. I'll get into the issues with the local police later on.
There are many.
Many. During the pretrial phase, the boys would actually claim that there was a previous murder. They said that they were sitting on a fence near a branch of McDonald's the previous November when they decided to rob a drunk guy. Igor hit him in the back of the head with a rock and went through his pockets.
I felt the skull burst.
He said.
He died.
He died.
He died like filthy. Like, you know when you bite the pierogi, the filthy Polish pierogi.
Now he's improvising. I fucking like to see. Like the fucking
Ukrainians got pierogies too.
But Polish ones are filthy.
They are. Yes, that I agree with. Yeah. It's filled with dirt, literally.
But it's good. It's good dirt. The first...
I do love Ukrainian food.
I do. I honestly too. I
Shout
love
out to Vasilika.
Yeah.
Also, Karksma. But
Karksma's Polish.
But how different is the foods?
Not much different.
Side stories, lpotl@gmail.com. Now, the first, what they call the counted murder, was a policeman named Vadim Bodam. He had taken his girlfriend to a recreational center on the evening of June 24th, 2007. In Soviet Ukraine, recreation center too. Needing a taxi, he hailed Igor's green Daewoo of death.
Can we call it a sleigh woo?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yes. Yes. And clock it.
And how do people know? Was it like, did they paint taxi on the sign?
Well, what they do is, like, honestly, I guess they watch for you driving and they'll pull over and ask you, do you want to ride?
Yeah. People just standing on the side of the road. The world's different over there.
Yeah.
It's very loose. And it's extremely small town and everybody knows each other. And it's also because I think at the time, because things had fallen apart on the top side, like on the federal level, things were falling apart.
Yeah.
On the local level, people were sort of forced to take care of each other.
Also, I imagine it's horrible because how many people got bludgeoned to death and were just left out in the middle of nowhere and they couldn't find who did it. It makes me feel like there's probably just happened occasionally.
The thing is that so many were found in this single run. So many bodies were found that I don't know if they could have killed more. Like, literally, I don't know if the boys could have killed more people even in the time period they had.
Yeah.
Because they killed so many people in such a short amount of time. At first, police treated this as a car accident and not that he had been robbed. Because he wasn't robbed. He still had his wallet in his pocket. His skull was deformed, and he was right next to a road, making it possible he was struck many times by a tiny car directly on his face. After
like the Murdochs.
Yes, it's very similar. After a more thorough investigation of the scene, bloodstains were found on the grass, and it became clear that it was a homicide. Detectives rounded up Vadim's friends, got his timeline for the night minus 20 minutes. They also heard about the green Daewoo for the very first time. This clue would sit unread in a report until after Igor and Viktor got arrested. There were lots of issues with the local police. I can clumsily sum them up, or I can insert our brilliant researcher's explanation.
Clumsy!
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'll do a clumsy. Oh, Brezhnev. Oh. All right, lack of funding. Truly's lack of funding because of the up top, right, which created a brain drain. It's because they couldn't pay the cops, so the good cops left, took over by corrupt cops, and the corrupt cops came into play because they would take money on the side to do crimes while also being a police officer. So it was like a whole thing because you're not paying them enough to be good cops.
Yeah.
And I think another thing with the corrupt cops is if they find a murder like this, a very violent murder, I think it's a lot of times it is in their best interest to not pursue it, because if they start pursuing it, who knows where it's going to lead.
Of course.
And it might lead them directly to, say, a mob boss, someone who they're on their direct payroll. They see a murder, someone, oh, this guy got beat to death with a hammer. Who usually kills people like that? Who usually kills people really brutally? It's
It's like an angry man who...
crime.
Organized
Who's
crime.
going to kill me and my family.
Exactly. So let's just say tiny car.
It's interesting because, like, you bring that up because there's a great Chris Rock bit that I always go back to when I hear about this. Is like he always talks about how he thinks cops should be paid more because we get what we pay for.
Yeah, sure.
And it's like, of course they're fucking corrupt and doing everything because they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, they needed to survive in this world in their own perverse way. And it's also, there's a lot of blown out here. There's kind of like a Soviet concept of the ideology of communism also puts this whole thing on top of the investigation because they believe that serial murder is impossible in a socialist society. They think that it only happens in capitalism.
Because then you got to kill everybody.
It was a problem. But that's like...
It's why Andrei Chikatilo got a body count of, 53?
Yes.
Because for so long, they refused to believe that this man was murdering people in the Soviet Union, and they just didn't investigate it. They didn't put it together.
Yes, this is all of these things make it super fucking complicated of what's going on.
Even though this is not Soviet, this isn't Soviet era anymore, but still that thought is in there.
Nothing really changed because I found it interesting because Rachel showed me it was because it was a non-violent revolution. Yeah. Because it was an actual election and they also had no way of kicking out all the bad guys that were in charge. So yeah, sure, we changed everything. We changed the flags and we changed the uniforms, but it's the same guys.
Yeah. And these killers, they were Ukrainian, but the way they killed people, it almost seemed like they were Russian.
If you look at the schedule. But then shouldn't people take more time with what they like? The night of June 25th, 2007 would mark the beginning of their highly concentrated reign of terror. The first victim of the night was 33-year-old professor named Yekaterina Ilchenko. After dinner with her mother and her best friend at home, Yekaterina offered to walk her friend the short distance home. Her mother would do the dishes and go to sleep. When she awoke at 4:30 a.m., her mother checked Yekaterina's bed only to find it empty. That's when she came upon a group of older women standing outside her home around her daughter's body. Yekaterina lay in a pool of blood, her hands up as if protecting herself from something. But as Natalia told reporters,
there was no face, only parts of it.
There's nothing funny about that. There's not a goddamn thing funny about it. After walking her friend home, Yekaterina had returned immediately. She was less than 100 meters from home when she came upon the two young men hiding amongst the trees. Igor spun around, struck her on the side of the head with a hammer he had hidden in a plastic bag. The blow killed her instantly, but Igor continued to hit her with the hammer until there was practically no face left at all. They stole her cell phone and ran away giggling into the night. Pumped with adrenaline, the boys wanted to kill again as soon as possible. 2 hours later, they saw 35-year-old Roman Tatarovich drunkenly passed out on a park bench right across the street from the local prosecutor's office. Igor attacked him, bringing the hammer down on him over and over again until every bone in his face was crushed. He would be discovered by unsuspecting early morning walkers.
The worst kind of walkers.
All right. Keep your head on a swivel, walkers. After Roman, they attempted one more murder to round out the night. 58-year-old Viktor Pertsev was standing outside his housing estate. They began hitting him, but a woman saw through the window of a nearby hair salon and started screaming. This scared the boys away, so Pertsev was left in a pool of blood, but alive.
The giggling is what's interesting to me, because they give off Very much a vibe, almost like a Beavis and Butthead vibe.
The video.
But of course, they've never seen Beavis and Butthead, that's what's fascinating about it, because they have no idea what Beavis and Butthead is.
When I rewatched Three Guys, One Hammer, the thing that really does stick with me, and I started with the second episode, is the idea of like, it's the joy.
Yeah.
It's the joy they have. It's the true, utter, total excitement. They were this is their favorite thing. They are living their dreams.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't a Jeffrey Dahmer thing. They didn't have to psych themselves up. This was the fun part.
Yeah.
I just imagine they had to have been covered in blood.
There's a whole thing on that. There's a whole thing on that. Oh, yes. Yes.
They were.
6 days later, July 1st, 2007, the second full night of hammer murders. They drove 20 miles out of town to Novomoskovsk for a change in scenery. There they found their next two victims, Yevgenia Grishchenko and Nikolai Surchuk. Very little is known about the victims or direct details of the incident itself, but they were bludgeoned so brutally with a hammer or pipe that their skulls were split open. 5 days later, July 6th, 2007, 3 victims in one night, all in close proximity. During the day, Victor, he had spent some QT with an unnamed girlfriend until Igor called him for their murder date. This is one of the factors that shows me that they were not fucking helpless little nerds.
No.
All right? Because at this time, they're 18, 19. And just like their American prototypes, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, they were nerds, right? But somehow they had girlfriends and money and all of this shit.
Now, Harris and Klebold, they were into things that nerds enjoy, but that does not make one a nerd.
No.
So you tell me the Hammer Maniacs had girlfriends?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Honestly, that's wild.
I think that when I was looking at that,
Imagine just going on a date to the mall, buying your girlfriend something, and then later that night dropping her off at home, and then going in your Daewoo to pick up your boy, then just bludgeoning people to death all night, pretending like it didn't happen, and then kissing her again tomorrow at school?
hey, he was at work.
Yeah. I mean, and the distance between these murders, it's kind of a combination of spree killing and serial killing.
Yeah.
But for them, it's like, it really, like, I don't even know if like spree killing really applies, because they just want more. They just want more all the time. Give it to me again. Give it to me again.
Yeah.
And
Spree killing normally has like a point.
Yeah, there's usually like they're doing it for some reason, and I think it really is the difference between like one person being a serial killer and two people being a serial killer together. Because if you got a buddy turning you and going, "You want to do another one?" Like, a person alone might say no.
They're daring each other.
Yeah.
First,
it's like being in a bar. I mean, your buddy says, "Want one more drink?"
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, fuck yeah. So first was a young soldier, recently discharged from the military, Igor Noshevod. He came home late after a night out with friends. His mother found him in the morning, his body lying in the front of the door, his face unrecognizable with the rest of his skull in pieces. Right around the corner from that, they found their second victim almost immediately after the first. Security guard Yelena Shram was walking home after finishing her shift early. She was almost home when Igor smacked her with a hammer he had hidden under her shirt as soon as she was within striking range. As with the other victims, Igor continued to hammer her while she was on the ground. Igor and Viktor took the clothes from the bag Yelena was carrying to clean the hammer of her blood. Later, Yelena's mother would say,
There was not a part of her that was not destroyed. When we arrived at the morgue, we could not recognize her.
Thank you, Smeagol. Yelena's sister had to rely on her clothes, hands, and her hair to identify her. And directly down the street would become victim number 3, Valentina Hansa, no relation. Valentina would befall the same exact fate as Yelena.
So, all right. So what are we up to now? Like, that's like 10 kids? Like 10 murders almost?
Right now, this will be 7 murders.
Okay.
This will be 7 over 3 nights.
And not including the first person that they later, not the drunk guy at McDonald's.
No, or the other 2. So technically could be 10.
Wow.
Yes. No, it is, it's a lot. And it's like, that's a part of why this, as soon as I started getting into this case, I think at first we all thought maybe the three guys, one hammer thing was just like a moment.
Yeah.
I think that's how I thought of it.
I thought of it too until we started getting into it. I didn't know that they killed any more than just one person.
Same.
I didn't know it was a massive serial.
I did not know that it was a whole life of it, of a young life of it.
Did they film all of them or just a couple of them?
It seems that what they did was a lot of pictures, and then their ones that we know that there are videos of were shown in court. So they did mostly pictures of animal torture, that kitten video. There's apparently a couple of other videos. Most of that was pictures. Then there's the famous video. Then they think there's at least 4 more videos, but some of them were attacks and not murders. One of them was that will be shown in court. They did video of a woman that survived the attack.
There was also another video of a murder that they showed in court as well. It was on that Chilean documentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like they needed the third person to hold the camera.
Well, they did a selfie. Part of it was them talking about how difficult it would be to murder with one hand.
Yeah. And by this point, the third guy is already fucked off.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's out of it. Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they were looking for a third, truly. The following day, July 7th, 2007, 2 children, 13-year-old Andrei Sudyk and 14-year-old Vadim Layakov, woke up extra early to go fishing. It was 3 a.m., still dark outside, when they sat out on their bikes. As they pedaled along the Dnepr River, a green Daewoo taxi stopped.
Slaywoo.
What?
Slaywoo.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, sorry. The Slaywoo. Yas. It stopped a short distance ahead of them, and Viktor and Igor got out of it, standing to the side of the dark road with their backs to the approaching boys. The 2 young boys decided to try and pedal past the menacing figures as quickly as possible. But as they approached Viktor and Igor, they turned and swung heavy pipes filled with sand, knocking them off their bikes. Andrei was immediately knocked unconscious, but 14-year-old Vadim quickly got up and started running. Vadim knew these woods. He'd been playing in them since he could walk. He managed to hide amongst the trees even while being frantically searched for by Viktor. Eventually, Viktor returned to Igor, still pounding the prone boy's body with the pipe. He got Igor to leave the scene, albeit reluctantly. Vadim lay in the dirt until he was sure his attackers were gone, and he went to his young friend's side. Andrei was still breathing. He was trying to talk, but it came out as unintelligible gurgling. Vadim tried to stem some of the bleeding with his t-shirt and place his jacket under Andrei's head for comfort before heading to a busier road to try and flag someone down for help. Finally, a car stopped for the blood-spattered kid and agreed to take the boys to the hospital. Andrei was pronounced dead on arrival. Can't believe it. Finally, the police are here. They could go and they could chase these maniacs because they're fresh off the case. They're right there. But no. Instead, they immediately pinned the murder on 14-year-old Vadim.
God damn it.
Ooh, man. So this is the thing. They immediately took this child, right? Because they were just like, you did it. You're the one. They pulled him into an interrogation room for days. They threatened him with detention in a notorious Ukrainian child prison.
Child prison?
A child prison. I looked it up. I was just like, because they tried to call it like a juvenile center, and then you look at it, and it's just a castle. It's an evil castle, right? They finally let him go when they couldn't beat a confession out of the child. But it wasn't for lack of trying. Vadim provided the police with descriptions of the 2 hammer-wielding teenagers and was finally released to his mother only after she threatened to go to the public prosecutor.
No. Hammers are for building things. You do not kill people with hammers.
Nobody
Obviously, you are murder.
What are these friends? Some kind of piece of wood? These friends some kind of cantaloupe?
We all know how crazy fishermen are.
Well. Now, you figure by this point there would have been a major investigation. 8 people murdered, same method, all within 20 kilometers of each other, another 2 weeks. But there wasn't. Authorities refused to link the crimes together, essentially boiling it down to a series of wrong place, wrong time incidences. The problem was their faces were there when the hammers were swinging down. And yes, I understand that it is their fault.
Yeah, it's the problem with Ukraine. There's always just hammers flying through the air at all times.
And what am I supposed to do? Keep faces out of all my hammers?
I will say they're usually, if you're looking for like someone, like they all have the same type of victim, right? Like it's always like a woman or a gay guy, it's always, but this is like they're just killing randomly.
It was crimes of opportunity, but there is a through line in the fact that it is vulnerable people. It is people alone. It's people old.
Yeah, it's not big guys that could take them.
No.
And all of their faces are smashed.
Yeah.
There's a hint.
And they're attacking them by surprise.
Yeah.
So
I guess there was like a military guy and a cop.
yes, but they got him by surprise. He was hammered. Both of them were hammered too. They look for drunk guys as well.
Double hammered.
Yeah, wow. See, there was no announcement about the murders or the potential dangers of spree killers still on the loose. But word spread among the locals that two psychos were running around hammering people to death with total impunity. It was the community that coined the title, the Dnepropetrovsk Maniacs. However, it looked like the pressure finally had built up enough that the police could no longer ignore what was happening in Dnipro. I think it was because literally he started killing kids.
Yeah.
And once
Yeah.
they killed a kid and they went through all of this shit and tortured a kid and beat the fucking shit out of a kid in order to try to extract a confession from them, they realized we might want to do something about this.
Yeah. Not in America, though. We love when kids get killed.
It's our favorite. It's our favorite. I say we just throw them at guns. Throw them at the guns. See, the similarities of the crimes, the close proximity, and the new details from Vadim describing two young men with hammers and a green Daewoo started to turn up the heat. Fakty, a Polish news organization, was actually the first to report on similar crimes in Dnepropetrovsk on July 17th. They didn't go all the way to call them serial killings yet. That would take the big premiere. And that's where we'll pick up next week with an incredible behind-the-scenes look at the making of Igor and Viktor's #1 hit, Three Guys, One Hammer. The hit that will put them on the map and into the hearts of minds and children everywhere with the conclusion on our series about the Hammer Maniacs.
Thank you, Casey.
And that's the making of Igor and Victor's #1 hit. Three Guys, One Hammer. Put them on the map and into the hearts and minds of children everywhere.
Let's take it way back when, all the way to 2008, with those three guys and that one silly little hammer.
And later we have a ticket giveaway for Better Than Ezra.
Well, thank you for letting me lead this.
No, this has been great. This has been really fun.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and it's given me an opportunity to really work on the next No Dogs in Space series.
And our new head on Mount Rushmore of Evil.
Oh, God, yes. No, and it is, and what a famous head it is.
Oh, it is an interesting shaped one, isn't it?
Yes, it is indeed. But you know, it's nice that we got like the little bit of synchronicity that we had with this one is I don't have to worry about who Clavicular is. You know about this whole thing?
No.
Have you heard about this?
No, I
Do you
have
know
no idea
about
what
this?
you're talking
Oh, no,
about.
you need to get back to work.
Yeah.
You need to be writing
What's
scripts. You should be
clavicular?
on social media.
No, I'm not on social media. This is just something it's been a huge story.
Isn't he just a model?
He's the looks maxing guy.
It's a model.
He's been smashing his own face with a hammer recently. I haven't read any of the stories, and I don't know what any of it's about. I just know that a man named Clavicular is smashing his own face with a hammer.
Why doesn't he finish the job?
Clavicular manslaughter.
Cute. That could be his fucking album, dude.
It also makes this topical.
Yes, it does.
And that's all we do here. All we do here. Accidental synchronicities. It doesn't matter, dude. Go to patreon.com/lastpodcast on the left. Pay for ad-free episodes and to see Last Stream on the left. Live every Tuesday, 5 p.m. BST.
Ah, we have changed the time officially to 5 p.m. If you want to watch the stream live, so it's a little better for you East Coasters out there.
And it's better for us old fucks.
We get to eat.
Because we're sick of being hangry during the streams.
Yeah. It's a fucking bastard.
Yep.
All right. So we're ready to come and
Go and
eat.
I'll eat your fucking shit. At LP on the left on your fucking stupid social media. And go tell Clavicular to pump our show. And go to youtube.com for all the horse shit. Someplace underneath LPN Romantasy, No Dogs in Space Podcast, LPN TV, The Foreign Report, Who's the Bee, and then come see us on tour, lastpodcastonleft.com for tickets.
That's right. Tonight, we're going to be in Indianapolis at the Egyptian Room. Come on out, you fuckers!
And one slippery noodle's going to be inside of you and me, my friend.
Really? That sounds like you're going to take me.
Only at the slippery noodle.
Then after that, April 25th, Cincinnati, May 29th, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, June 27th, Grand Rapids, Michigan, July 17th, Tulsa, Oklahoma, July 18th, Oklahoma City, and then tomorrow night, we're going to be in the wonderful Urbana, Illinois.
I can't fucking
That's going to be Henry and I doing side stories of the Canopy Club. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to get chubby.
We are. I made sure that they were going to get food for us.
I also got us a big old steakhouse reservation in Indy as well, and then I got us more steak there and stuff. I'm like supposed to get my blood done and stuff, but we're just not. I'm just going to keep pushing it off every single time there's a good restaurant.
Yeah. That's the thing. So let us know where all the best restaurants and all your horrible towns are. We can't wait to eat them.
We're going to eat.
Yes.
Well, hail sweet Satan, everybody.
Oh, Nagin.
Hail, you know what? Hail Rob.
Wow.
Yeah. We know Rob. I don't think I've ever hailed you before. Thank you. Yeah. You deserve more hails.
Yeah, you hailed him like an unlicensed taxi cab.
Yes. Oh, you're my little sleigh woo.